The scene is quick enough. We kind of said it, but he is being pushed to the ground. The hand, there is contact. The knee is down. It is just inside the 1 yard line. Something you always got to look for, and you go, is it worth challenging? Absolutely. Make them go for it on 4th down, and we know what the Dolphins would have done in that situation, right?
They would have gone for it.
They would have gone for it. Nick Saban inside the 5. If it's less than a yard, you go for it.
Kitna got heat and throws it away. Holiday.
That should be grounding, Jim.
That was.
It could be a flag thrown here. No receiver was in the area. And it's not grounded.
Well, he had completed Kitna before that one, 7 straight. What do you think that last drive means to Joey Harrington?
Oh boy, that released a lot of pressure, freed him up, even though he did look pretty loose even before the drive. It gives him confidence. Quarterbacks always need confidence.
Second down. Kitna cannot get away from Zach Thomas. And for Thomas, his 100th tackle, as we mentioned, first to reach that number this year in the league, leads the league in tackling.
Well, we had a chance last night to talk to Zach Thomas, and I just asked him, what about the game? What are you going to do? And he goes, well, we're going to be flying around. We do, and he kind of laughs when he says it. We do a lot of stuff. He goes, we do so much stuff it confuses even ourselves sometimes. And the Detroit offense, it's complicated. So which team? Both teams have a chance of making a big mistake that could lead to a score.
6-time Pro Bowler and his movement on the right side. And Zach Thomas.
Full start. Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
It'll be 3rd and 22. I'll tell you, no one can out-prepare Zach Thomas, but with the short week, he was lamenting how he only got to see about 7 line games to prepare for this one.
I said to him, they only played 10. I mean, how much information you got to have? But that's what he is about. The coaching staff of the Dolphins, they're new. I think they're even in shock at how much football he really, really knows.
3rd and 22 from the goal line. Kitna. Oh, this will be interesting to see. There's a flag also. Could be a safety.
Could be a face mask.
Jason Taylor and Vonnie Holiday crashing in on Kitna. And they say that Kitna was out of the end zone. You can see the official spot a foot out.
Personal foul. Scratched in the face mask. Because the foul and the run ended behind the line of scrimmage, the penalty will be assessed from the end of the run. 15 yards, at least back to the line of scrimmage, and a 1st down.
That is a huge penalty against Miami. Just bailing out the Lions from having the punt out of the back of the end zone.
John Kitna trying to escape when you get pass rushers coming so fast. Jason Taylor reaches up. But
no question about the call.
Yeah, no question. But the Miami Dolphins, I know what they're saying. We're getting by them. Keep the pressure on. They thought they had some good matchups with their defensive line against Detroit's O-line.
Not counting that one, they had sacked it in 2 of the 3 previous pass attempts. And Harris working hard just to squeeze a yard out of this. This is some Thanksgiving Day for Arlen Harris, getting called back, getting cut late in training camp. Right actually before the first regular season game.
Yeah, Friday before the first game, Jim.
He went back home to Downingtown, Pennsylvania, was home for 2 months, just wondering if he'd ever get a chance to play again.
We asked him, he said it's humbling, and you wake up every day, you're anxious, you wonder will you get another chance. So I said those workouts must have been off the charts. He goes, oh, they were. The motivation, so he appreciated it before, but even more now.
2nd down and 9. And that pass wide of Sean McHugh coming out of the backfield. Harris, part of that March system in St. Louis, where he was a backup to Marshall Faulk, and one time in his career, actually back in 2003, he filled in for Marshall Faulk in a game and delivered 3 touchdowns for the Rams.
you know, that they feel good about him here today, Jim. He knows the system. He knows how to pick up blitzers. He knows what routes to run, and all that helps. And when he came in last week, he looked pretty good.
3rd down and 9. In to try to help protect the quarterback, who launches, and oh, look at Roy Williams make a play. Roy Williams snags it out of the air as the ball was first tipped by Ronaldo Hill. And it goes for 24 yards. He's over 100 in the first quarter as the quarter expires. Lions lead it after 1, 10-7. Roy is fired up thanks to plays like this. And you're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 41.
We're playing San Diego. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, and puked in between. And that's when I knew it.
I felt like I was playing with little kids and I was a grown man, like Superman.
I ran the fastest 40 at the camp, and I was still 15 years old. So that's when I knew I was going to be pretty good. Oh, yeah.
As well as being a thirst-quenching soft drink,
Yes, that's right, Dave.
a Sprite is also a sort of goblin. This Sprite is not so refreshing at a festival. And it definitely hasn't got any taste.
Here we go. Right and left and right and right. Left and right and right and left.
Try new Sprite Z. Great Sprite taste, 0 added sugar.
NASA.
Jim Nance along with Phil Simms. We start the second quarter. Roy Williams, what a first 15 minutes. 3 catches over 20 yards, 5 overall, and he's 23 yards away from being the first receiver to reach 1,000 on the season. First down for the Lions. They have had a couple of big bailouts on this drive, including that face mask call. And with a pass over to Kason. And it goes for about 4 yards. And if you just walked in now, had not seen the Lions play this season, Phil, you'd say this team's going to be like 7-3, 8-2.
Right.
They really are motoring right now.
Well, terrific start. It brings back the old days of Thanksgiving. No matter what the Lions' record was, they were going to play tremendous. But of recent history, Jim, they have played not very well on Thanksgiving Day. But Rod Marinelli, we talked about it earlier. He said, hey, guys, all these games are going on film. I'm grading you on these last 6. So the environment is good here in Detroit despite a 2-8 record.
Straight back for Kitna, now going long again, and that's Mike Furry, who's having quite a season. The former wide receiver / safety at St. Louis, and now a wide receiver in Detroit. Goes for 15 yards.
It's just so different when you play a Mike Martz offense because as a defensive back, it's not a lot of those quick throws, the 5 yards, the slants, the hitches, what a lot of teams do. They go 15, 20, 25 yards down the field. And again, they're not accustomed to it. And that's why you see receivers getting wide open.
And you saw it, Furry led the Rams in interceptions last season. Starting safety with 4. Martz comes up here as the offensive coordinator says, hey, I'd like you to be a wide receiver, but the Lions go back to that position. Trying to hit Roy Williams on the slant. There's Coach Marinelli, the longtime assistant with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I think the one thing he said, Jim, that caught my attention, hey, he goes, I want pressure on the players. He goes, I'm not one of those coaches that says, oh, just relax and go play. That's not how it is. Because when you give them that statement, he says they take chances. I want them to know pressure all the time. He goes, I put it on them in the meeting rooms and on the practice field. We saw that on Tuesday.
Second down and 10, tough play there. And it would have been for a loss had Corey Bradford held on to it. Travis Daniels had that well guarded, but Marinelli said as soon as he walked in to the Lions as the head coach, knew what this team needed: toughness, players who accept blame, accept responsibility. And it's about being consistent here. Tough, mentally tough. You got to make a play at the end. You can't let the scoreboard influence you. You've got to play the snap, every snap. Never looking ahead, never looking back. 3rd down and 10. Getting a little pass to Kason, his second catch, but he's going to be well short of the first. Kason goes for about 4 yards, and instead of bringing out Hansen for what would have been about a 55-yard try, they're going to punt it away instead with Nick Harris. And Welker, one of the great returners, punt returners in college football history, by way of Texas Tech, stands back inside the 10. Huge punt. Got it high. Welker gets away from it and it bounces in. Flies to the 1. It's only a net of 17 yards. Harrington's next drive will begin at the 20. Down 3.
The celebration for the Seahawks, 30 years in the making. The best team of the National Football Conference. Matt's got time. Lays it up over the top. Has a man wide open. DJ Hackett. Touchdowns, and they are going nuts at Quest Field.
This guy is something else.
Up for grabs. Ball is caught. Touchdown, Seahawks. The Seahawks made that look easy. Seattle, you've waited 3 decades. We're all going to the Super Bowl.
Tonight on a new CSI, rock legend Roger Daltrey rocks Vegas, the ultimate Who Done It. Gather the family, special Thanksgiving CSI ghost story tonight, 9/8 Central on America's #1 network. Harrington drove him down the field the last time they had it. And Brown with the carry for just a yard, running into Daniel Bullets, who starts today with Kenoy Kennedy, a late scratch.
You know, as you watch this game, Joey Harrington, we talked about it many times, here last year with Detroit. I asked him last night, so does it serve you well, knowing their personnel? And he said, absolutely. I know everything about those guys. I know who takes chances on the secondary or which one does, which one plays safe, and that's how he'll direct his throws.
2nd down and 9, staying on the ground, second straight time. It's Brown, beautiful move. Brown has the first down. Looked like he had been shut down at first for no gain, but picks up 10. Fernando Bryant with the hit in the secondary.
So many times when you are a coach in this league, it's hard to stay with something that you might believe in. In other words, you want to have running, you want to run the football. Ronnie Brown, what a nice run, going outside, and boy, what a stop to cut it back in and get the yards. But you got to be patient when running the football. You're going to have a lot of 1 and no yard gains.
The jump cut, huge for Ronnie Brown. The play action fake to Brown. Harrington flings. There is a flag as Booker has the catch on the sideline. It'll be 15 yards if there is a penalty here. If they don't bring it back. It's against the Lions.
Prior to the pass, illegal use of hands, defense number 32. Penalties decline. The play results in a first down.
Called on Dre Bly, so the play stands.
Now, this is always interesting, Jim. You know, we are sitting here today, hands to the face. We saw Dre Bly, but Dre Bly had some bad words about Joey Harrington last year, and he's been talking on the field during timeouts. I don't know if it's directed at Joey Harrington or not, but every time I see Harrington throw in his direction, it makes you think about it.
First down at 10, and it's Ronnie Brown. Again, working hard for 5 yards. And, you know, really, you look at the Miami Dolphins season, it was a horrendous start. They began the year with Culpepper at quarterback. 1-3. That's all they could muster. And then they made the change, bringing in Harrington. Harrington lost his first 3 games, so now the Dolphins record slides all the way to 1-6. The turnaround game at Chicago, handing the Bears their only loss, and now 3 straight wins. 2nd down and 5, and only a yard for Ronnie Brown. But it was a comment by Bly in the middle of the 05 season that was made public about Joey Harrington.
Yeah.
About Harrington costing Coach.
Steve Mariucci was fired because of Joey Harrington. I mean, come on. You know, that's ridiculous. Well, let's see, the defense was giving up about 40 a game. Did that have anything to do with it?
Harrington's angst that no one stood up and addressed the situation. Well, pretty much told him that's when he knew it was over.
It's over. He sabotaged Joey Harrington's future with the with the Detroit Lions.
False start. Offense number 77. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Jim, when you're a player and a teammate talks out about you like that, somebody has to come and help restore your reputation. That did not happen here in Detroit. So Joey Harrington lost all of his power as a starting quarterback and a leader of a football team when Dre Bly talked out against him.
3rd down and 8. Near midfield, Harrington. And that's the 2nd time that a 1st down catch slides right off the fingertips of a wide receiver. Marty Booker this time.
Well, Marty Booker, really what happens here, he lets the football get by him. In other words, he should have reached out his hands the opposite direction, caught the football in front of him. He was just coming right out of the cut. The timing was very good with Joey Harrington throwing the football, but Booker not able to make the catch. Eddie
Drummond, who usually handles the returns for the Lions, is inactive today, so Dre Bly is back at the 10-yard line. Waiting for the punt. Donnie Jones. And he makes the grab. Fair catch at the 11, and a flag with the contact after the fair catch. David Bowens ran into the returner.
After the catch, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 96 contacted the maker of a fair catch. 15-yard penalty and a 1st down.
Well, there was that personal foul face mask that got the Lions out of the 1-yard line situation. And this one will take them from the 10 to past the 25.
There was a moment there where I thought, that was a pretty doggone good throw. I can probably play.
My sophomore year against Thomasville, I only got 3 balls. And those 3 went for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. I knew right then that I was on my way.
And the stadium was rocking. It was packed. Got a total of 400-some yards. That's when I knew.
When people stopped calling me Archie's boy, started calling me Peyton, that was a big moment for me.
We're back in downtown Detroit and just reaching the shoreline here off the Detroit River is the Phil Simms All-Iron Thanksgiving Award to be presented at the end of this game. Pretty serious stuff. This is Harris. And hit by the backup. Michael Lehan able to drive him back and hold him to a gain of a yard. It's called the All-Iron, the old iron thing, because Mr. Meticulous, my partner here, has this reputation for being a guy that not only a natty dresser, but doesn't leave his hotel room without first ironing everything.
Well, I try to do the best I can, Jim, you know.
What happened today?
I'm not like you. I can't afford to send it out to get it pressed and pay 50 bucks, all that stuff.
Second down and 9. And movement on the right side. Looked like Rick DeMulling, who was in for Rex Tucker.
False start. Offense number 64. 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
You have quite a history with this All-Iron Award.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, really, Tim. And, you know, giving a trophy to a player, that's always good. But it's been fun. And probably the one person, the very first year we did it, who epitomizes everything that we try to make it out to be, was Stephen Boyd here in Detroit.
Second down at 14. And getting the backpedaling and pass batted down. So third and long. Coming up, 3rd and 14. Here are your winners. Boyd, that first year of '98. Which one of these performances really stands out?
Well, just like I said, you look at all the winners. Stephen Boyd was hurt, didn't think he was going to play. He knocked passes down. He made a lot of tackles. Then late in the game, the Detroit Lions kicking a big field goal. He wasn't even on the field goal team. They had 10 guys on the field. He goes running, sprinting out from the sideline, gets down where the 11th guy should be. And, you know, I said, that's it. That's alert, tough, physical. That's what you want in football players.
3rd and 14. Kitna rolling away from the pressure and batted down, trying to find Williams. Good play by Andre Goodman, the former Lion.
A lot of pressure is always put on the corners of the Miami Dolphins because they love to blitz, and they just tell guys like Andre Goodman, hey, you got Roy Williams no matter what he does. And he did an excellent job that time.
Best defensive series of the game for the Miami Dolphins. And Harris punted away to Welker, who had 8 punt returns for touchdowns in his decorated career with the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. Tying an NCAA record. Shakes the first tackle and grabbed by the shoestrings by Dante Curry. 53-yard punt, 10-yard return, and there is a flag on the field.
Proving he could turn corners as well as anyone, Carnell Cadillac Williams.
It's no fun when you can't sleep. Time seems to stand still. You just can't switch off. And it feels like you're the only one. But you don't have to put up with it. Nitol can help you drift off into a natural sleep. So you wake up refreshed in the morning. Good mornings follow a good Nitol.
In July 2005, I was diagnosed with a malignant tumor in my chest. After having successful surgery to remove the tumor and going through chemotherapy, I am now in remission and cancer-free. I'm thankful for the doctors, the nurses, the NFL officials, the NFL officiating department. I'm thankful for my family, my friends, especially my wife Ann and daughter Anna, for their love and understanding during my illness.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, Jim Howie. There he is, the back judge in his 8th year in the league from Erskine College down in South Carolina. He's a director of adult education, working here today and feeling that grateful spirit that we all should on Thanksgiving. Miami trailing by a field goal, begins at the 23-yard line. On the run, hits McMichael. Sidesteps a couple of defenders and gets near the first down, probably has it.
You were telling me some numbers about this Detroit's defense, Jim, and I said it puts pressure on you as a quarterback, because you look at those numbers, you watch the film, and you go, man, I should have a good day throwing the football. And everybody here in Detroit's had a good day except one guy. It's Michael Vick, right?
Michael Vick's the only quarterback this year to not throw for 60% completion against the Lions.
They're giving up close to 70% completions.
And Brown for a yard as Daniel Bullocks came up to make the hit. In fact, the Lions have allowed 68% completion percentage, which would be the all-time NFL record.
And you look at it, we told you, I said a few things. They are simple on defense, but when you kind of have to gamble, they've had injuries. When you got to gamble to stop the run, it just makes it really tough to stop the passing game. That's one of the big problems here in Detroit.
Because Michael Vick's brother, Marcus Vick, is on the Dolphins roster, inactive today. Actually, the third quarterback he's listed as, and that's Welker with the grab for 14 out to the 50. They have an interesting thing. Culpepper is inactive. They have Vick listed as the third quarterback. They would love to be able to use him maybe as a part of their special teams or as a third receiver. You look at Welker here making another grab. He's putting up big numbers this season as Welker. And there's Marcus Vick. First down and 10 for the Dolphins. Down 10-0 early. Harrington able to escape initially, but not the second time as Redding comes in on him. Ernie Sims helping the Lions cause.
Well, Corey Redding, number 78, gets in there. They're double teaming him because he's been the best pass rusher for this Detroit Lions team. He's a defensive end. They've had injuries. Sean Rogers suspended, so they move Corey Redding inside. And you know what? They go, might have found something here, because he plays hard. He's turned into an excellent pro, and he's been a disruptive force inside.
According to his coordinator, Donnie Henderson, he has been the catalyst of our defense. Talking about Redding. There's a pass back to the tight end to McMichael. Moves the football into Detroit territory, but a 3rd and 5 on the way. You mentioned Sean Rogers. His suspension is now over, but still not brought up to the active roster because his knee is not 100%.
That's right, not in shape, not ready to go out there and be a defensive lineman. He probably was their best player along the defensive front, so that's hurt this team tremendously.
Again, 3rd and 5. They'll move Welker over into a slot to the left. Harrington quickly now into the arms of Hagan. He has his second drop in this game. Fernando Bryant was there to lower the boom after the pass fell through the fingertips of Hagan.
It's all there for the Miami Dolphins offense. The receivers, they're open. Joey Harrington's getting enough time to throw it. They're just not coming up with the plays. Not only was Hagan open, Wes Welker, Marty Booker on the other side, wide open, so they should be frustrated.
Harrington's got to be frustrated. He's had 4 incompletions, but 3 of them were drops right in the perfect spot. 2 by Hagan, 1 by Booker. All of them would have picked up first downs in 3rd down situations. Bly lets this one go into the end zone. Jones only netting 26 with that one, with the touchback. 10-7, Lions defense stopping the Dolphins near midfield.
Play football. After winning 1 for the thumb, fans in the Steel City are looking for a repeat. With the new Steel Curtain defense still intact, the Steelers should be near the top of the league once again. With running back Willie Parker, receiver Hines Ward, and quarterback Ben Roethlisberger returning, the Steelers enter 2006 as one of the favorites in the AFC.
So you all right, Jake?
Well, I don't think Mum's been acting a bit weird.
I wouldn't worry about it, son.
Only Actimel contains the good bacteria LC Immunitas. Try it and see if you feel the difference.
Yeah, some here in Detroit enjoying the ice skating. Coming up, you'll enjoy the Sprint halftime report. JB, Dan Shannon, and Boomer look at the first half. And a live performance here by John Fogerty coming up on the Sprint halftime report. We'll look at Campus Martius Park. And on the carry, Kason bounced out with a flag. He gained about 3 yards.
Holding. Offense number 73. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That flag on Ross Verba. Zach Thomas. Give you a little feel for what it's like up close.
Well, what about Zach Thomas? He went down, he got as light as 215, and now he's built himself back up to about 225. He thought, I'll get leaner, it'll make me a better player. He found out it didn't. He's getting too tired.
He's run out of gas. So the Lions run it for 3 yards. Kason. Zach Thomas's career, he's now over the 100 tackle mark on the season, leads the league. 17 career picks, 6 Pro Bowls.
Well, you know, when I look at Zach Thomas, just talking to him last night when he walked out of the room, I said, you see, he lost weight, got leaner because he was trying to become a better player. So he's always looking for ways to get better. He just found out that that's not one way to do it.
Second down 17. Kitna's pass is picked off. Picked off by Ronaldo Hill. He had to run back for a score last week. And he loses his footing at the 9, but sets up Miami for a chance to take the lead. Trying to hit Roy Williams was Kitna.
Roy Williams was well covered, and I've been watching these safeties of the Miami Dolphins. They're looking for some of these deep inside routes. You saw it earlier, Jim. They almost had an interception to Roy Williams. That time the defender was actually in front of the receiver.
Williams had a play on this ball. Went right through his hands into the arms of Ronaldo Hill. Travis Daniels was also in on that coverage. And a 1st and goal to go for the Dolphins.
Dolphins getting the turnovers now. Something he didn't do in those first 7 games.
Money Brown stacked up as he runs right into his own line, plus Terrence Holt pushing him back.
Something they haven't done all year is run the football for this Miami offense. John Kitna, you know, too, you go, well, what was that throw about? Look, if you've been a fan of the National Football League and you watch Mike Martz in St. Louis, he's doing the same things here. He expects his quarterbacks to drive it in there, to take a few chances, and every once in a while it goes against you.
2nd and goal from the 6. Inside of 3 minutes to go in the half. Another run with Brown. And again, very little to work with. Bullocks coming up. Well, they scored a touchdown. Similar range. 3rd and goal on a pass play, Harrington to Booker. And that's the situation they'll have here. Two tight ends, McMichael and Peel.
Joey Harrison's just gonna let the clock go down and call timeout.
Yeah, he's gonna let the 2-minute warning take over. Did the math on it. He had a second to spare.
Let the 2-minute warning come.
In 2005, the Kansas City Chiefs unleashed a fierce running game featuring Pro Bowl running back Larry Johnson.
Nobody's caught him, I don't believe, from behind, and since he's been in grade school.
Boy, I'll tell you what, that is one beast right there. Touchdown, Larry!
In only 9 games as a starter, number 27 rushed for a franchise record 1,750 yards and 20 touchdowns.
Wow, what else can he do?
Coming up, the Sprint halftime report. That's right, John Fogerty, the Hall of Fame rocker, will be here in Detroit. You'll see Fogerty plus JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer, our rockers, back in the studio in New York. Dan is getting all set. Miami